Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF coming at you with another video. Okay, so I just got through watching highlights of the Lakers and the Philadelphia 76er game, and I knew we had lost when I clicked on the video, but I didn't know in what fashion. I saw it was a 1 point game, saw that Harris had hit a shot, so that wasn't really surprising to me. But so as I'm watching this game, the Lakers are doing, the best they can to try to keep up with the Philadelphia 76ers, but the 76ers are just seemed like they're one step ahead of us. We couldn't hit free throws, things of that nature. It really hurt us. But the Lakers were down pretty big at the fourth quarter with like 3 minutes to go. Like 3 minutes to go. I'm like, is the clock right? And I'm looking at that score and I already know what's about to happen. So I'm like, how the hell did we cover 12 points in 3 minutes? But guys just got hot. Guys got hot. We started hitting shots. Schroeder hit a three. We had, I think it was Matthews, I believe, hit a three. It was just another three was hit, and then AD hits a layup. It's like, okay, so we actually fought all the way back and got the lead. But then Tobias Harris hit a shot. And my thing is, look, we got the switch at the end of that game. We didn't love that switch, but it was good defense. Caruso, as usual, did his best. It would have been nice if we could have got a little more effort on the double team there, but it was more so just that singular situation, and he shot it. He made the shot. You have to tip your hat, and make your adjustments next time so that your defense is more prepared to kind of close out on that shooter a little better, and then not have to switch there. But other than that, you can't help but be proud of how much poise the Lakers showed to close that game and putting themselves in a position to have the lead with 3 seconds to go after being down by 12 with 3 minutes to go in that fourth quarter. That was unbelievable. And this conversation goes very, very differently if Tobias Harris doesn't make that shot. Let me tell you, talk about all-time great collapses in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia 76ers, you better be glad he hit that shot. That's why I turned on this video, because I said that. Tobias Harris, some guys would have been considered real choke artists in Philadelphia if they would allow the Lakers to come back and win this game. That was a very bad collapse there. So kudos to my Lakers for keeping it together. I didn't love the body language that I saw between AD and LeBron James. I know these are the type of games that can, cause people to have frustration. Keep an eye on them, because they did not look happy with one another in a couple sequences I saw in those highlights. So this is a bad loss. It's our first loss on the road. It's not the end of the world, but we do want to beat quality teams. We don't want to become this reputation of a team that can't beat the elite teams. You know what I mean? That put ourselves in a position to get beaten those really, really important games. We don't want that. We don't want that reputation. You know what I mean? And this is a different team than last year. We do have to be honest about the fact that we have some guys on this team that play prominent roles that could give us a different identity than what we had last year. So, it's very important that we continue to establish cohesiveness with this group. And, if there's a trade that can make us better, maybe we realize we need to make that trade, because I'm looking down there and I'm saying we're lacking in size, believe it or not. Joel Embiid had his way with us. Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons. I said this in a couple videos in the past when I was really, really into 2K, playing it a lot. Maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, going up against the Sixers with my Lakers and realizing that we don't match up well against them. That still stands. It really comes down to this for me. They have too many large players in prominent positions over there. And now they have shooters to complement them. Though we have large players, you can see the difference between Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid down there. Joel Embiid is a much bigger person, and he throws his weight around with both LeBron and AD at different times, especially on box outs and rebounding and things of that nature. He's a handful to handle in 7 games. And then you got to consider Ben Simmons, also a very big body, controlling the ball, moving the pace, and keeping their pace fast. And he doesn't get enough credit on this channel for being a fantastic passer. I talk about a lot of passers. I talk about guys who facilitate quite a bit, and I just realized that I don't mention his name very much. He is an elite facilitator, an elite orchestrator. People talk about him in regards to him not being able to shoot and all of that, but he makes up for it in his aggression towards the basket. You don't know whether or not he's going to pass or if he's going to drive and dunk it on your head. But one thing's for certain, he's going to convert on most possessions. He does leave a lot out there when he doesn't take certain shots, especially when he has extreme height advantages against people. I want him to shoot over shorter guys, but as it pertains to his aggression, I think what gets lost in all of this is the fact that he is an elite player. He has glaring flaws, but a lot of players do. At the end of the day, you definitely want him on your team because he's damn near 7 feet. He's really, really, really fast and athletic, and his court vision is just simply extraordinary. So, that's what I think of Ben Simmons. He needs to be given more credit here. And once again, Tobias Harris, somebody who's grown every year, who fought injuries a lot at the start of his career. Now he's someone he's gotten his body into a position to be able to withstand most things. He's usually out there, and now you have to respect his scoring. He's been very good under Doc Rivers as well, even with the Clippers. A lot of people forget his stint with the Clippers, though it was very short. It was very successful. He was really, really good scoring the ball for that team. So now he has Doc again. Doc knows him, and that's a really, really good situation there. So I got Philly coming out of the East. I've told people, at my job, someone asked me who I had coming out of the East. I told them Philly, man. Unless somebody makes a trade that changes that. I haven't seen one. And I know people say the Nets. What are you talking about, the Nets? The Nets have a fantastic trio, but the rest of that team is not even a bunch of pieces that fit. And, tonight the Nets had a good game. They had a recipe for success. Things went in sequence in terms of the superstars giving you what they need. KD scored, Harden passed and scored. Kyrie was the lesser scorer of the three, and they won. That's what's going to need to happen for them to have success. If that order isn't defined in each and every game, I feel like they have a chance to lose a lot of games that matter. Not necessarily against lesser teams, of course, but some of the games like Sixers, Lakers, games like that, they're going to need to have that sequence of players in order. That they need to have that prioritized properly. And if they do, that's going to be a recipe for success for them. They just don't fit unless they do it right. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I don't believe they're going to be able to do that. I believe they can get really, really, really good and learn how to play with one another. But I think habits take over in pressured situations, and guys are just going to be trying to go ISO at the end of the day. I think it's going to be a lot of ISO coming out of the Nets in the playoffs. And I don't think that's going to work against teams like Philly. So I got Philly coming out. I really do. I think Philly is going to come out. They're going to be good defensively. They're going to be big. They got players. You don't know who's going to beat you every night. They have a bunch of guys on their bench that can go off. Forkin Korkmaz is another guy who can shoot and light it up. He killed us tonight. And you don't even really think about him as a player for the 76ers because they have so many. So they're an extremely deep team, and they're well coached. So at this point, and not only that, but they have what they need to back up the players so that they can withstand injury. They are deep. They have Dwight behind Embiid. They do have several shooting guards that can all go off. They do have Tobias Harris, and then they go off to Danny Green and Seth Curry. And it just goes on and on. They have a lot of talent. So, yeah, man, it's no... It's not a bad thing losing a road game to the Philadelphia 76ers in 2021. It's just not. I mean, you can't hang your head and say, oh my goodness, we should have won that game. No, that team is good enough to where if you don't play your best, they can beat you. We possibly saw an NBA Finals matchup tonight. So that's what I have to say about that, man. But I will tell you this. They collapsed. They collapsed quite a bit. That collapse was inexcusable. They took their foot off the gas against the Lakers, and that's something that you're going to remember come playoff time. That's something that will come back around. The Lakers will be talking about how they erased a 12-point deficit in 3 minutes against this team. And if I had to pick right now, you better believe I'm picking the Lakers to win that series, probably in 6. And as you can see, that means Philadelphia won 2 games. So getting one tonight, no big deal. Anyway, how we lost, I think you could take a lot of positivity from it. But at the end of the day, I did see some bad body language. So I think some guys could be arguing in the locker room tonight. I hope I'm wrong, but this is the kind of game where guys just get really frustrated because you really wanted to win that game. You really played poorly and you erase the deficit. It's just ups and downs and ups and downs. Yeah, definitely nerve wracking. So, anyway, that's what I got, man. Thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44, and I'm out.